This morning I ran into someone at the gym, a former colleague of mine. This is someone I hadn't seen in maybe 2 years. Back when we worked together, she was the definition of unstoppable, driven, brilliant, fiercely dedicated, loyal, willing to travel without complaint, which she did about 50% of the time. She climbed her way all the way up to the senior director level at a global tech firm, and she gave them nearly 20 years of her life. She told me she'd been laid off. She'd been sending out resumes into digital black holes, interviewing, following up, waiting, ghosted, and then she stopped. She told me she decided to retire. But here's the thing she didn't say out loud that neither of us said, but both of us knew. She didn't choose retirement. Corporate America retired her. And if you think your 20-year loyalty badge makes you safe right now, you are sleeping on a volcano. As we kept talking, my friend mentioned that her husband, an engineer, had been staying up late working towards his AI certification, and she laughed. She laughed like he was some kind of weird gamer playing with a trendy hobby, like he was the one who didn't get it. And then at the very next breath, without seeming to connect the two things, she told me about the final year at her old company. A new CEO had come in, a new regime, a new mandate. And at their very first all hands meeting, her new boss looked out at the room and said, "If you've been sitting here in these chairs for 20 years or more, I'm coming for you." My friend told me she didn't think that the threat was directed at her. After all, massive company, tens of thousands of employees. Surely that was aimed at somebody else. It was aimed at her. It's aimed at everyone who has spent 20 years assuming that history equals security. And while she was laughing at her husband for studying AI, her husband was the only one in that house who understood what time it is. Do you see the disconnect? On one side of that marriage, an engineer who recognizes that the tectonic plates are shifting and decides to elevate his value before the ground moves beneath him. On the other side, a brilliant senior director who spent 20 years assuming that her dedication and great work was a form of protection. When a new corporate regime walks in, they do not look at your 20 years as loyalty. They don't look at it as an asset. They look at your 20 years of a historical salary as a liability on their spreadsheet. You're not a person to them. You're a line item. And unfortunately, line items get cut. And when that little title disappears, usually at 6 a.m., email that you weren't expecting, you don't just lose a paycheck, you lose your identity. You look in the mirror and you realize that you spent 2 decades building someone else's kingdom and you forgot to build your own. Here's what I told my friend in the gym, and here's what I'm telling you right now. You're not obsolete. You're not overqualified to be an employee. You're perfectly positioned to be a CEO. Think about what 20 years of corporate experience actually is. It is deep operational expertise that took decades to develop. It's a level of problem solving that most people in the room cannot match. It's leadership under pressure. It's relationship capital. It's institutional knowledge that no 24-year-old with a prompt engineering certificate can replicate. So why would you take that mountain of intellectual property and quietly tuck it away in a retirement that you don't actually choose? A CEO doesn't wait for a manager to validate their worth. A CEO looks at 20 years of experience and asks one question: How do I productize this and sell it directly to the market? You already have the product. You are the product. You just have to package yourself. If you can hear the footsteps of a new regime approaching at your company, or worse, if you've already been pushed out and you're calling it retirement because I was laid off is just too painful to say out loud, don't give up. Don't shrink your life to fit an identity that no longer serves you. Do not let someone else write your expiration date. I've built a free 5-day mind shift experience inside our community specifically for high achieving corporate professionals who are ready to take decades of experience and turn it into a profitable, independent business infrastructure. The link is in the description. It's completely free. It takes 2 minutes to join, and it's the first step towards building something that no new regime, no restructuring, and no 6 a.m. email can ever take from you. No boss will ever again be able to look at you and look at what you've built and say, I'm coming for you, because what you're about to build belongs to you. I'm Paula Holland, and I will see you on day one.